Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, guys. We are now in Module 16. We will tackle about the Arduino parts and its function. What is Arduino? Arduino, or what is the parts of Arduino? Arduino board sends the environmental by receiving inputs from many sensors and affects their surroundings by controlling lights, motors, and other actuators. Arduino boards are the microcontroller development platform that will be at the heart of your project. When making something, you will be building the circuits and interface for interaction, and telling the microcontroller on how to interface with other components. Here, the anatomy of Arduino Uno. We have pin category, pin name, and details. In pin category, we have power, reset, analog pins, input or output pins, serial, external interrupts, PWM, SPI, inbuilt LED, TWI, AREF. In pin name, we have VIN 3.3 volt, 5 volt, and GND, reset, A0 to A5, digital pins 0 to 13, OR RX, 1 or TX, 2, 2 or 3, 3, 5, 6, 9, 11, 10 or SS, 11, Moshi, 12, Miso, and 13, SCKey, 13, A4, SDA, A5, SCA, and AREF. Details: VIN input voltage to Arduino when using an external power source. Muna siya ang details sa VIN. Diya ni mo makita siya sa pin name. Ang iyang pin category is power. 5 volts. Regulated power supply used to power microcontroller and other components of the board. 3.3 volt. Supply generated by onboard voltage regulator. Maximum current drawn is 50 megavolt ampere. GND ground pins. We have reset. Details is reset the microcontroller. We have analog pins. Details is used to provide analog input in the range of 0 to 5 volts. Input or output pins. Details is can be used as input or output pins. Serial used to receive and transmit TTL serial data. External inputs to trigger and interrupt. PWM provides 8-bit PWM output. SPI used for SPI communication. Inbuilt LED to turn on the inbuilt LED. TWI used for TWI communication. EREF to provide reference voltage for input voltage. And we also have Arduino technical specification. We have microcontroller, operating voltage, recommended input voltage limits, analog input pins, and digital or I/O pins. In microcontroller, at Mega 382P is 8-bit AVR family microcontroller. In operating voltage, we have 5 volts. In recommended input voltage, we have 7 to 12 volts. This is part of Arduino technical specification. Input voltage limits is 6 to 20 volts. Analog input pins is 6 or A0 to A5. Digital or I/O pins is 14 or out of which 6 provide PWM output. We also have DC current on I/O pins, 40 megavolt amperes. DC current on 3.3 volt pin. We have 50 megavolt ampere. Flash memory is 32 KB or 0.5 KB is used for bootloader. And SRAM or SRAM is 2 KB. EEPROM is 1 KB and frequency or clock speed is 16 MHz. The 14 digital input or output pins can be used as input or output pins by using pin model, digital read, and digital writer. Functions in Arduino programming. Each pin operates at 5 volts and can provide or receive a maximum of 40 megavolt ampere. So, iyang operate na is 5 volt and mo-receive siya og 40 megavolt ampere. Muna na iyang max nga current nga iyang ma-receive. And has an internal pull-up resistor of 20 to 50 kilo ohms. It means na siya sa mga 20,000 to 50,000 kilo ohms ang iyang pull-out pin, which are disconnected by default. Out of these 14 pins, some pins have a specific function as listed below. Analog with 14 digital pins. There are 6 analog input pins, each of which provide 10 bits of result, include 24 different values. They measure from 0 to 5 volts, but this limit can be increased by using AREF pin with analog reference function. So this is the parts and function. First is power USB. Arduino board can be powered by using the USB cable from your computer. All you need to do is connect the USB cable to the USB connection. This is the number 1. This is the power USB. This is kani siya. Kani marag na number 1 muna siya ang power USB. Number 2, power or barrel jack. Arduino boards can be powered by directly from the AC mains power supply by connecting it to the barrel jack. That's number 2. Number 3, voltage regulator. The function of the voltage regulator is to control the voltage given to the Arduino board and stabilize the DC voltages used by the processor and other elements. 4th, crystal oscillator. The crystal oscillator helps Arduino in dealing with the time issue. How does Arduino calculate time? The answer is by using the crystal oscillator. The number printed on the top of the Arduino crystal is 16.00H9H. It tells us that the frequency is 16 million hertz or 16 MHz. 15. Arduino reset. You can reset your Arduino board. Include start your program from the beginning. You can reset the Uno board in two ways. First, by using reset button 17 on the board. Second, you can connect an external reset button to the Arduino pin label reset. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 4 about pins 3.3, 5, GND and VIN 3.3 volt or 6. Supply 3.3 output volt. That's number 6. That's part of 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5 volt. Supply 5 output volt. Most of the component used with Arduino board works fine with 3.3 volt and 5 volt GND. There are several GND pins on the Arduino, any of which can be used to ground your circuit. VIN or part of number 9. This pin also can be used to power the Arduino board from external power source like AC, mains, power supply. Number 10. In number 10, we have analog pins. The Arduino Uno board has 6 analog input pins, A0 through A5. These pins can read the signal from an analog sensor like the humidity sensor or temperature sensor and convert it into a digital value that can be read by the microprocessor. 11. Main microcontroller. Each Arduino board has its own microcontroller. You can assume it as the brain of your board. The main IC or integrated circuit on the Arduino is slightly different from the board. To board microcontrollers are usually of the ATMEL company. You must know what integrated circuit your board has before loading up a new program from the Arduino IDE. This information is available on the top of the integrated circuits. For more details about the integrated circuit construction and functions, you can refer to the data sheet. 13. ICSP pin. Mostly ICSP is an EVR. A tiny programming header for the Arduino consists of MOSI, MISO, SCKey, Reset, VCC, and GND. It is often referred to as an SPI or Serial Peripheral Interface, which could be considered as an expansion of the output. Actually, you can slaving the output device to the master of the SPI bus. 13. Power lead indicator. This lead should light up when you plug your Arduino into a power source to indicate that your board is powered up correctly. If this light does not turn on, then there is something wrong with the connection. Number 14. TX and RX leads. On your board, you will find two labels, TX or transmit and RX or receive. They appear in two places on the Arduino Uno board. First, at the digital pins 0 and 1 to indicate the pins responsible for serial communication. Second, The TX and RX lead flashes with different speed while sending the serial data. The speed of flashing depends on the baud rate used by the board. RX flashes during the receiving process. 15. Digital I/O. The Arduino Uno board has 14 digital I/O pins, of which 6 provides PWM, pulse width modulation, or PWM output. These pins can be configured to work as input digital pins to read logic value or as digital output pins to drive different modules like LEDs, relays, and etc. The pins labeled can be used to generate RPWM or pulse width modulator. Last is EREF number 16. EREF stands for analog reference. It is sometimes used to set up an external reference voltage between 0 and 5 volts as the upper limit for the analog input pins. And our number 17 is Arduino reset. Same lang sila sa number 5 ug ang 17. Arduino reset. You can reset your Arduino board, include start your program from the beginning. You can reset the Uno board into 2 ways. First, by using the reset button on the board. Second, you can connect an external reset button to the Arduino pin labeled reset. And now we are in activity number 3. Ato na yung ansiran, ato na yung i-label na yung Arduino board. So first, we have power USB. Second, number 2 is power or barrel jack. Third is voltage regulator. So muna siyang voltage regulator kaning number 3. Number 4 is crystal oscillator kaning SPK160006 muna siyang crystal oscillator. Number 5 kaning na-reset muna siyang Arduino reset. Number 6, 7, 8, and 9 muna siya ang pins. Ang pins natay 3.3 volts, 5 volts, GND, and VIN. Number 10, we have analog pins like A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Number 11, we have main controller. Muna siya ang main controller kani. Di pa siya mabasa. Number 12, we have ICSB pin. Number 13, we have power lead indicator. Kani siya. May siyang power lead indicator. Di lang kayo siya maklaro. Number 14, we have TX and RX lead. Mani siya. Kani siya guys. Di may kayo siya maklaro. Sorry. Natay TX and RX lead. Number 15, kaning na GND 13, 12, negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, 8, 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, 2, TX 1, and isa, di man makita. Muna siya sa digital VO. Ang number 16 na to tara AREF. Tas ang number 17 din is Arduino reset or kani. Motong kung gusto ka mag-reset, upload lang nimo ng number 17. That's all for module 16. Thank you and thanks for watching.